Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to StardomQuest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined today not by Dylan, but by Peps. So, welcome, Peps.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's my first episode here, and I begged for this for like years. Like Alex knows, I begged to be on a show like this for like 2 or 3 years now, and I'm finally on here, and it's like the most stacked episode you have been talking about in like months, maybe?
Maybe.
I would imagine so. Like at least since the last 5 so with in terms of the matches that we have here that we need to talk through.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the most intense. There was definitely some of those early Marigold ones where juggling 2 promotions was hell on earth. But yeah, since then, definitely hasn't been anything quite this insane. So Dylan really screwed me by being like, you know what? I'm just not doing this. And I was like, great, thanks. But, you know, I was able to get a guest who is just as insane as we are. So thank you for the commitment to watching all of the wrestling, Peps, because
Oh,
it
dude,
was very vital.
after like the 4th show I needed to go through in like 3 days, I was like, I'm done with that. I was like, close to say no, let Valkyrie do it or someone. But I pulled through, and it was a lot of matches, and I'm happy that I got through them because there were at least some good ones.
Yeah, it got good by the end. But we're going to start with the not so good one. Marigold kicked off their Dreamstar Grand Prix. They had some pretty unfortunate news like the day before that Senka Akatsuki had to pull out due to pneumonia. So she is pretty sick. She's been pulled from most of her dates in the upcoming future. She was replaced by Maria in this tournament, which I think is a big downgrade, not because I don't like Maria, but Senka has woven herself into the fabric of Marigold. Like, she's been booked here throughout the year. She has stories within her block. She is one of the most interesting wrestlers going. So replacing her with Maria, who, you know, clearly wasn't expecting to do this, is definitely, I think, hit that block pretty heavily.
Yeah, not only that, but also that the entire block was pretty much built around Senka and the other rookies in some form or some way. Like, how does Mayuvatani Utami react to Senka and the others? Now with Maria, you have like a totally different package into that as a wrestler, but also in terms of storyline. Like, the only story that she has is, okay, she's from Marvelous and Ryoko pinned, but she beat Seri and Nanae Takahashi for the tag belts, and that's pretty much it. And we have noticed that, in my opinion, in the first 2 days with her. So.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, but we're just gonna dive right in. They started with the first show on August 2nd in Eddie on Osaka Arena. They did an impressive 615 fans, which I think, you know, they've really built this base in Osaka pretty well, because they initially were not doing well kind of outside of Tokyo. Now they're at a point where they can get 600 in Osaka. So I think that's a pretty good number for day one, considering it was a double header. Like, if the only place you're going to do better than this is if you ran in Cork, and so I think it's a thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering like they did like 300 or so for the opening night for both days each, or like for both opening shows, it's a big step up, and I think they should be happy with that. Like, I would imagine, without knowing, that the number at least last night was a bit light up and comped up, and I feel like from the pictures that seemed at least legit, and that's a good sign for Marigold.
Yeah, they seem to have stopped needing to lie, so I think that's how you know they're in a pretty promising position, because you know, Mayu has definitely changed Rossi's life here, because ever since she's come in, they've just been selling more and more tickets to these shows. So let's see how they go, because the final day is at Corkin, and like that could, with the right kind of setting and right matches, be one of their biggest shows yet, which I think would be a big achievement for them. We kicked off the tournament with Seri Yamaoka beating Chiaki in 8.5 minutes. This was almost all Chiaki. and Seri just kind of rolled her up with the Aoki clutch, and I feel like that's was intentional to set up Seri as this kind of escape artist, because even in the Mayu match, she was kind of just escaping Mayu. So I feel like they didn't even like attempt to have the TM, good match here. It was just kind of setting up what Seri's tournament is going to be. So very weird opener, because the energy just was not there for an opener.
Yeah, it was the wrong decision for an opener. I feel like they should have switched that one and the one following after, simply because I don't think the crowd needed to get started a typical Chiaki match, but rather just a sprint.
Yeah.
I feel like in general that also counts for Stardom, but also New Japan. I'm sorry for bringing man wrestling here up, but they are really bad at picking the opening match of the tournament in some form. Like Stardom did well, at least okay enough this year with Kamitani, at least, because Kamitani is the star and she can carry that. But I don't know, I didn't feel like anything watching this outside of okay, it was there.
Yeah, pretty much. And that was the go-to vibe of the show. Because we went into Nagisa Nozaki beating Kazuna Tanaka in 5 minutes. Very one-sided. Nozaki really brought the energy. I thought she had a really good showing on both shows. But they kind of just had her steamroll Kazuna, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, that's Kazuna's spot in life. But yeah, it was tough to follow up the kind of sleeper with a match like this.
Yeah, and I personally I would have placed that match at a different venue because it should have been more important in terms of especially Kizuna's career than they have presented it so far. As of course, Nozaki was pretty much the ace when Kizuna was in Wave and started to train there under her. And I believe they had, was it her comeback match? Kizuna's comeback match it is.
Yeah.
Or was it one of the first matches that he
It was
had
a
in
comeback,
phase that was like much better than this one? I feel like they have something with these two, but I don't think Rossi's interested in that kind of particular rivalry, so it doesn't matter.
He goes
Was
back
okay.
and forth on Kazuna being important and not important. He's like, "Oh, it's our first
It's-
anniversary. She's great," and then he's like, "You're gonna lose in 4 minutes and you're gonna get nothing."
It's all about whether Yuzuki is important in a singles role or not, pretty much with her.
Yeah, poor kids. We got on to Koki beating Rei Seto in 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was okay, but definitely, I'm just not vibing with heel Rhea so far. She just
No.
doesn't feel right, and Koki is not going to drag a match over the line. So, yeah, I didn't enjoy this.
No, I've said it before. I still believe that they did the heel turn too early, even though she wasn't originally planned at the GP. They should have done it after because she could have needed a good tournament in terms of in-ring work, and now she doesn't even have good matches against the ones you would expect her to be, not even the heel. And I don't know how a heel Rhea Seto will look like against the rookies.
Yeah.
So.
We got on to Mirai beating Chikagoto in 9 minutes. I feel like they definitely could have done a lot better, which is a theme of the show, really, because it was very grounded. Like it was kind of like the Mirai Bozilla match, except you didn't have the interesting arc of Bozilla being a monster to chop down. It was just kind of Mirai crawling all over Chica for a lot of it. And so I thought this didn't have the energy. And I feel like the show needed energy at this point, and they just didn't bring any.
No, I don't even get why they went that way with the match layout, because there's like a simple solution of just Mirai just beasting Chikagoto through it, and that's like where Chikagoto is at her best. I don't watch Chikagoto to see her getting pulled on the mat or something, even though it makes somewhat sense in terms of like what Mirai would be going in terms of her match plan, but just go like all out for 9 minutes and it would have been much better. Like that is pretty much a similar theme with the next match between Misa and Miku Ano.
Yeah, Mirai had 2 weird showings on this one, but we'll get into the Aono match later, because I know some people liked it a lot more than I did, but I don't know. And speaking of Aono, she lost our next match. Misa Matsui got the win over Aono in 12 minutes with a bit of a flash pin, kind of a first day upset of sorts. Again, like a very slow paced match, not the kind of energy I thought Misa Matsui would bring. I do not want to see Misa Matsui slapping on leg locks in a GP. But I thought they did enough like interesting counter wrestling to at least make up for it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that was likely the best match they had together in Marigold. Like, to be fair, the other two matches weren't like that good either, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But it feels like they, similar to pretty much nearly everyone, could have had a much, much better match in a different setting. Like, I think the Double Knights have heard a lot of these matches because who really wants to wrestle like twice at that heat in
Yeah.
Osaka? I don't even know if they have like an AC in there, so I would imagine so. But
You'd hope so.
yeah, I don't know. I like this. I thought this was one of the better matches of the night, like in terms of maybe top three. But there were much many good matches, so it's not that hard to succeed in that.
Yeah, no, that's true. We have a slightly controversial one. Mai Utani beat Maria in 8.5 minutes. Some people treated this like the worst match of all time. I thought it was fine. I kind of like Maria at least doing the like stalling heel stuff was different to every other like match on the show. It wasn't just the same as everything else, and I kind of appreciated that. It wasn't an amazing match, but they at least tried to do something outside of the norm, and I will always appreciate that in a tournament.
I think even though it had its problems, it at least had some kind of urgency with it, with the few high-speed sequences that were built into it. Even though like Maria did her lazy stuff in between, which I'm not a fan of in the tournament itself, but I think it will grow on me over the course of the tournament. I think Mai is just good. Like everything she does is at
Yeah.
least good. So, but I still would say it was maybe her worst singles match she had in Marigold so far. So. And in terms of like
Yeah.
it being Mayutani, it might still be disappointing, even though I would say it was good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not campaigning for it being some sort of like stellar match, but I definitely just I liked that they went for something. They had a plan. They had an idea. It wasn't just forearms and submissions. So
Yeah, that's
I'll give them
definitely
that.
true. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Speaking of forearms and submissions, Chanyota beat Mai Sakurai to get her win back over the white belt champion in 13 minutes. This was a definite step up from everything else, but like I thought their title match was a lot better. Again, they took it to the ground at the most random points and just stopped the flow entirely. But Chanyota hit enough lariats that I was like, you know what? I'm into it. Chanyota is goated. So
I thought it was like much better than the title match. Maybe it
wow.
was because it was totally checked out in Marigold when their title match happened in, I
Maybe,
believe it was the January Hurricane? Or was it
maybe
February? No, it
March.
was February. January
Oh,
was the bad Nozaki match.
you really
Um,
you're not liking the Mai Sakurai reign.
I really do. But at first, like the Chanyota match was good, but I thought this was like really good. I thought it was
Mm.
one of the best matches of the tournament so far. I would even say one of the best matches of both tournaments so far. I thought they had
Wow.
great chemistry together. They had like Chanyora, in my opinion, has been like really good in Marigold, but I
Mhm.
think this was her first great performance. I think she was much better than mine this match, but this was also seemingly the goal of the match, and I think I'm totally happy with how they went.
All right. We got onto the main event then, which was Victoria Yuzuki getting the main event upset over world champion Utami Hayashishita in 11 minutes. Yuzuki brought something that nobody else really did. She had that real sense of energy and urgency and intensity to her match that I think was lacking on a lot of this show. Like this felt like a completely different match to what everybody else was doing. And even though Utami tried to ruin it by bringing back the extensions, she didn't forget how to wrestle this time. So this was enjoyable. I definitely think Utami probably could have done better, but Yuzuki's just will to make this a good match made it enjoyable.
I feel like you notice with a lot of these wrestlers who have wrestled a round robin tournament in Stardom before and who hasn't. Because in my opinion, Utami has done really good at this, always at this getting upset. In Stardom, it was against Azumi at the Hurricane Hall show. It was like a really
Mm.
great match, and I think this had a similar feeling to it, where they just went all out for like pretty much 11 minutes and then rolled up and then it's over. And I think that is like something that someone like Aono, for example, and even like the others, like Saki, someone haven't been able to figure out in that extent that they just make it blatantly obvious what they are going for in each match. And to praise Utami for once, because she has been getting a lot of critique rightfully in some places, like in some places at least. She has been doing really well and always in like a tournament setting. Yuzuki, she's just awesome, and I feel like we should rocket push her even more than she gets right now. Like that should be one that should be challenging for the white belt by the end of the year, in my opinion, because she is that good. She brings something to the table that nobody else does, and her instincts are getting so much better with every single match. Like we have been comparing her to Sai Kamitani for a while now, and I think she's similar in terms of like not in terms of the style or anything, but in terms of how Sai Kamitani was as the rookie and how she has been developed. I think Yuzuki is going to the same way, and she is, in my opinion, just one white belt reign away from being a perfect total package for Marigold in the top spots.
Yeah, I think this tournament could definitely raise her stock if she keeps up the way she is. You know, if everybody else is going to keep the kind of grounded submission base and she's just flying around doing her thing, I think she can definitely raise her stock even more than somebody like a Seri, who I thought would be like the biggest winner. But I think, you know, Yuzuki across the first 2 days impressed more than anybody. So I definitely think she has a chance to say, hey, look, you guys got to pay attention to me. So I would agree. That was the end of the first show for Marigold. They ran later that same day again in Osaka Edion 2 in front of 601 fans. And they kicked off with Chanyota beating Kazuna Tanaka in 6 minutes. This was terrible. They have negative chemistry. It like didn't work. They often looked like they were stuck in video game animations. Like Chanyota would just stop everything so Kazuna could like get her into position. Very awkward match. Very poor performance. Didn't like this one.
Yeah. I thought the first like 3 minutes were fine. There was one spot, I don't know what exactly happened there, where Chanyota went for like a lariat and Kizuna was meant to counter it and she just didn't. But Chanyota still sold it. That actually
Oh
like countered
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And from then on, they just went totally off chemistry. Like it was blatantly obvious. They told pretty much everyone we had the entire match laid out spot by spot, and they went through every single spot they had on their check load, and nothing worked from like minute 4 to minute 5.5 Like the final, even the jackhammer was kind of botched. Like,
Yeah, I think they messed up and then had to do a different finish.
yeah, the only thing that worked was like the submission in the end. Like, and that should not be the case for someone like both of them. Even though they aren't really that experienced, they should still do much, much better than this. And I think they have in every single night they would wrestle.
You know, speaking about awkward wrestling reminded me that we forgot some news that Ryoko Sakimura has left Marigold.
Oh,
She basically cited that she would be going freelance and wanted to learn a lot more about wrestling and just wasn't really ready for this kind of platform. So I'm hoping she can show up in somewhere like Actress Girls. I think that would be a perfect fallback for somebody like her to wrestle part time in a very low stakes environment. You know, maybe take some indie dates if she wants to. But, you know, this was kind of coming. I thought she would retire, but she seems to want to continue wrestling and just got out of her contract. So, you know, hopefully Ryoko can kind of get back on the wagon because she had a lot of potential initially. And she did seemingly say she wants to come back to Marigold once she's learned a lot more. So maybe the door is open there to her improving and kind of coming back when she's kind of got her head on right and fully understands what she wants to be as a wrestler.
yeah, I found it was kind of weird considering like pretty much Rossi buried her on her way out in that one Twitter post where
Yes.
he was like, yeah, you know, her performances are just not good. I was like, dude, chill out. Like even Japanese Twitter jumped on it, and they don't jump on everything. At least in the post itself, they just make separate posts about it. But they were all over it in the comments and the quotes. And I don't know where she's going. Like I don't see many spots for her actually, because I don't know who would book her and who would need her. Not that I don't think she deserves to be booked, but I just feel like she is a rookie that is not as good as and many other rookies that these companies could book. I believe the logical spot would be like PPP Tokyo or something. Like something her agency sets up for her and like can collab with them. And I think like someone like PPP Tokyo or other really small independent promotion sounds more likely to me than anything like Diana or something.
Yeah, no, I think, she's more actress level or even
Yeah.
JTO. If they were to take her on, I think JTO dojo shows would be a great space for her. Maybe if Icerbin wanted a fresh kind of pin eater for their dojo shows or something. It would all come down to how much she charges and how much she wants to be protected and stuff like that. But if she was like, hey, look, I will just lose to whoever, I think there's definitely dojo shows that would take her for some of the smaller feds.
Do you think Taka already DM'd her?
I don't know. She is kind of tall. He does kind of like the tall ones, so possible.
I hope not for her.
Well, back to the tournament anyway. Victoria Yuzuki beat Chiaki in 8.5 minutes. Good match. Victoria Yuzuki again brought the energy. Chiaki can keep up. If you set the bar, Chiaki will always meet you. That's one thing I've always said about Chiaki. If you challenge her, she will meet your level. So I thought this was a fun little kind of undercard match.
Yeah, that was totally solid. It was like much better than the other Chiaki match simply because like Yuzuki tried to actually wrestle instead of just going with Chiaki.
Yeah.
And I think that's always like the most important thing with Chiaki, that you don't let her do her stuff and just say go for them and just bumping. Like you need to give her something, and then Chiaki tries to give you something back. It had some typical bullshit in it with a ref bump and everything, but I think it's okay enough. Like I will come to bad heel work in the next match.
All right. Well, Maria beat Koki in just under 10 minutes. My goodness.
This was by far the worst match of the tournament so far. I thought it was legitimately like awfully laid out, and it was both of the wrestlers' fault. Like Koki's not a good worker, but she can go at least solid enough with the right people. And the problem is with Maria is just that I think she is good, but I don't think she has figured out how to really work as a singles heel yet, because I really needed to look this up, right? Like in terms of singles matches, as a heel, this is her second match as a heel in the singles.
Oh my god.
And I threw her into this tournament, and she's like doing this gimmick stuff, and it's okay. But I feel like in general, it's not what I want to see from her in this tournament, and I feel like as a tag wrestler, she has done much better so far.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the Maria thing. But I always thought she would make for a better heel, but I always thought she would be a Kaoru inspired heel instead of whatever she's doing now. So it's kind of
She's a
it's a
TikTok
bit
heel.
difficult. Yeah, it's weird. She'll get there, but it's definitely weird. And Koki just she isn't bad anymore, but this tournament has not been good for her so far. She needs to pick it up. After that, we had Chikagoto beat Misa Matsui. Can't really remember much about this. It wasn't that bad, but I definitely didn't love it. Again, I don't think Matsui is really wrestling like herself in this tournament, so I don't think this was as good as it could have been.
There are too many heels in this tournament. Like, not in terms of straight up cheating, but in terms of the match layouts. Because you have Matsui who slows it down now. Nozaki slows it down anyway. That is just the star block. And then in the Dream League, you have 3 heels. One of them is Rhea Seto, who works heel against the top people even. Maria, of course, who we have talked about, and Chiaki, who does her stuff. It's like 5 out of 16 people are heels, and it's just too much, in my opinion, to have a good flow in these double shot shows, because it's 3 back, like they were like, not kidding, 5 back-to-back heel matches on the show.
Oh shit, yeah.
And you notice that at some point.
Yeah. The show is definitely kind of like ticking away, and until Mayu came along. So I get it. But speaking of one of those heels, Utami Hayashishita beat Rhea Seto in 6 minutes. It's okay. Rhea's attempts to work on top were not very interesting. And I think I would have liked the match where Utami just kind of tossed her around a bit more, but it was okay.
Yeah, once they got into the kind of high speed situation towards the end, it got good enough. Like I'm happy with how this went, considering it went like 6 minutes or so.
Yeah, no,
But
they
nothing
did
to write home about, sadly, because this show needed it.
Yeah. Mai Sakurai beat Nagisa Nozaki in 7 minutes in our next match. This is definitely just cut off early. Like
Yeah.
Nagisa, as I said earlier, brought a lot of energy to this tournament, which not a lot of people did, and her and Mai very naturally just kind of work well together. And so I think cutting this off at 7 minutes was a bit of a mistake. I think if you had given this more time, they would have had a really, really good match. But as it was an enjoyable 7 minute sprint.
Yeah, what Nozaki helps is the Lance No High that she always does, like the running kick.
Yeah.
That just instantly feels like, okay, she brings energy from the first minute because she hits it in the first minute here against Mai, which like instantly set a tone for the match. But yeah, I thought it was kind of short, and I wrote it in the Discord, in the 5-star Discord. Like once I saw the match time of this, I instantly knew the next match is going to a draw because they need to save time in some way and likely have a hard cut when they need to get finished. And because the ceremony takes like alone 15 minutes of the show, they needed to do something. And I don't know, I feel like they could have done at least 9 and cut the 2 from Chika versus Misamatsu or something. Or at least cut like Koki versus Maria in half. Or like any other match.
Speaking of the time limit draw, Mikoyano and Mirai wrestled to a 15-minute TLD in one of the more predictable results of the tournament. It has a 7.48 on cage match, and I don't really understand. They wrestled like they were going 50 and only went 15. The pace was so slow. Like, I did like the leg selling. That was one thing, I thought they both did really well selling the leg and like targeting the leg. But I just don't. They didn't do much. I don't know. This felt like a New Japan match, and I don't like New Japan matches. It didn't have any intent or desire to win. They were just filling time from start to finish, and I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I thought the finishing stretch was like really not good. And that is why I didn't like it too much either. I still liked it, but I think in comparison to the other matches, they had much more energetic time limit draws and pretty much the other 3 tries they had it. And I thought this one was their by far worst match so far.
Probably.
I prefer the pit one, like the last time limit draw they had in the stand-up pit that was also like not that good, but I would prefer it over this one because the pit one at least had the urgency towards the end. Okay, we need to win this match. He was like 7 minutes in. Okay, they are first of all going to a time limit draw, and second of all, they didn't even try to make it seem like okay, we're trying to finish this match. Like they did some submission holds like 14 minutes in or something. It was like, oh god, good, just do it. So
yeah, a lot of submissions on this show.
Yeah, especially in this match. I think this match had like double the submissions any other matches had, and we had like 15 or so in every other match combined. So that was like not something I personally enjoyed. But I think the match in general was like solid enough to go through as a co-main event of a double header if we hadn't had like such a nothing show before that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like they should be doing a lot better. And I feel like Mirai should know better. But I don't know. Sometimes she just gets into her head that she's this like technical genius. And I'm like, listen, man, we all like the lariats. Just do the fucking lariats, So yeah, I don't know. Mikoyano had a weird first day. She's definitely giving the vibe of somebody who's winning the tournament and is not going all out for some reason. So it's very interesting. But
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't like this one very much, and I don't really understand the praise for it.
personally, I feel like this is one of the matches I can understand why Miko Ano is not trying because they have it run so often. Like this is their 5th match against each other, and they have pretty much hit everything they can do. That I can understand. Okay, we just go 50% and just do nothing in this because 50% is for them at their quality enough to at least have a solid enough match. I personally just don't want to see this match again, like in the future. This is my Azumi versus Starlight Kid in Stardom, but even though Azumi and Starlight Kid have like at least have the fantastic match, and they had like just really good matches, so there's that.
Yeah, this has reached like Zack versus Naito levels of "Are you serious?" again.
Oh, it's terrible. I if I was Rossi, I would just not book it for like 2 years. but I exactly know this is the first defense of Ono. I just know it. So
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that. We main evented with Seri Amioka beating Mayu Iwatani in just under 11 minutes. The biggest result of the day, probably of the entire tournament. I kind of expected this as soon as they were paired up on day one. Like they adore Seri. I am starting to buy into her going through to the final. And like I thought it was a great match. This was exactly what I've been looking for from the tournament. Mayu showed up and knew what to do. You know, she didn't bore us. She didn't get rid of the energy. She just kicked the shit out of Seri, beat her up, tried to get the win. Like the head kick was nuts. And I thought the finish was so clever where Seri is like, okay, Mayu throws this kick in every match. So she had it scouted and just dumped her on her head a few times to dizzy her and got her into the Aoki clutch. This was just well wrestled, really creative. Mayu was at her most Mayu. I really enjoyed this. And it was really like, this is what this tournament could have been all day. But, you know, at least we got it. At least we got it in the main event.
yeah, absolutely. That is like the perfect main event that you can have for a double header at the end, because it just has the energy, it just has the interest personally I have in these two wrestlers. And they are able to create a very good storyline, of course, with Sarah instantly beating Mayu Tani. I think that was also like kind of a shock. Because originally when I planned my prediction for this and went through every single match and something, I didn't expect this to main event simply because I thought, okay, they will give one main event to a Dream League and one main event to a Star League. And it was like, okay, this is a very obvious time limit draw. Like it was either this going to a 50-minute draw or Awana versus Mirai, and the other one is having a clean finish. And them just making a statement in general with this show, okay, that in the Dream League, Seri beats Mayu and Yuzuki beats Utami to end these two first shows. It's like a big thing to tell your audience, hey, these two are the ones we are buying into, and you should not pay attention for them in the future, but right now. And I think that's like important thing to set the tone for in the tournament, because now you know, okay, not only Utami, Koki, and Mayu are playing a big factor into the final, but also like into the who goes to the final, but also Seri and Yuzuki. So you have at least 5 wrestlers in the flock who could go through and then are legitimately told you they can go through from day one on. And I think that is maybe the most important part. For the match itself, I thought it was like great. This was like the typical fantastic match that you expect on the main event of like such a show. And I think Seri has slowly figuring out the little things that she needs to get to the next level and catch up with like someone like Yuzuki or the other ones of her generation that are a bit ahead of her in terms of like experience.
Yeah, no, I think I said this after the Takumi match. I think Seri should just like get her ass beat for 90% of matches because she's so good at selling. And I think her tournament is set up to be her just like getting her ass beat and then escaping at the last minute to get the result. I think, her being the first person to pin Mayu is a big indication of what we all knew, is that they adore this girl. You know, they're gonna give her the rocket as much as they can.
Absolutely. And if you compared like to the obvious comparison is always Utami. Like Utami got nothing pretty much outside of a few big wins in terms of singles competition early on. And Seri got like the biggest win you could get in Marigold. So I think that is like very obvious where this is going. And I think we're heading to a big singles title match for her in like the next 6 months or so. If she's not even winning it. Like I wouldn't be shocked if she just wins the white belt or red belt at her first try.
Yeah, well, that was a promising end to a interesting first 2 shows of the Marigold tournament. If you couldn't tell by how I've talked about the shows, I was very unimpressed. I thought a lot of matches really lacked the kind of intensity that I've come to really expect from Joshi. A lot of people felt like they were painting by numbers to have a decent match, but not good. And that's not really what you expect from Joshi wrestlers. They're usually a lot more energetic, and just everything about them is usually just a lot more purposeful. But it just didn't have it. And the first few days of the 5-star didn't have it either. Like I think the 5-star kicked off pretty poorly as well, but I thought they unleashed themselves after the third day. So hopefully Marigold kind of grows into the tournament as well. But we haven't, we didn't get to see the third show because they had 2 tournament matches on a show on Sunday, but for some reason they're not uploading it till tomorrow. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the issue with Marigold's tournament, in comparison to Stardom's, because we will compare it a couple of times here in this show, just will be that the schedule is worse. Like, you have a lot of shows with just 1 or 2 matches, and I think we don't have like more than 2 matches until the Sendai Pit, and then after that it's like until Kurrigan Hall, which is at the end of August. So there will be a lot of shows where you have like 2 solid enough matches in a house show mid card and nothing that stands out. And I think we will get the next great match, like legitimately great match, likely outside of maybe Yuzuki versus Seri at the Kurrigan Hall show. And that is like not what you want from a tournament like this.
Yeah, it's a weird pacing that worked in 2022, was it, for Stardom, or 2023? But of course, that was one of the most ridiculous rosters that's ever been in a tournament. So I think you could get away with it there, which I'm not sure Marigold can. But like, we won't really know until we see the 2 tournament matches, because it was Chanyoda versus Matsui and Utami versus Chiaki. And both of them got time on a show that isn't all singles matches. So there's a chance that they delivered and were fun and engaging. And that's kind of what we're in for. But obviously we won't really know yet because we haven't been able to see it. So
yeah, that's true.
Let's see, what is there to preview? So yes, they are running on the 9th in Miyako, the City C Arena. This is Mirai's Triumphal Return.
Mirai's Triumphal Return.
Yeah, and there's 2 league matches on this. Let's see. They have Seri and Shino teaming up against Megaton and Naoshikawa, which feels very unfair. But, that's fun.
50% chance that Gigakatan is appearing.
Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, lovely. We get into tournament action with Chiaki versus Koki in the Dream League. Oh, boy. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be okay. Chiaki has no points so far.
No, she's on free.
Chiaki?
I would think so, but Koki, like, if I'm going with Koki is going to the finals, she needs to win, right? Like, I don't think Mayu loses too much, but I don't see Chiaki going 0-4. So I think Chiaki's like logical in terms of what they would likely go for.
Yeah.
Except they are saying Rhea versus Chiaki at Kurikan. I think that's the next Chiaki match. Is like winner gets her first win.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a very Rossi arc. So Koki. Star League is Mai Sakurai versus Chika Goto. And that's kind of an intriguing one because they both kind of won 1, dropped 1 to start. It's probably too early to get a draw in that block, although that would kind of help eventually send through Iono, I imagine. So maybe this goes 15. Wait, because Iono did the draw, so I don't think she's already on the knock.
I think Mai just wins.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Mai just wins, and then she loses later on to, someone like Mirai or something.
That checks out. Yeah, that looks like a fun show, but it's going to be very difficult to watch any of it because there's so much wrestling. The Dreamstar then heads to the Sendai Pit on August 10th with 4 league matches. Yes, 4 league matches. Mai Sakurai versus Misa Matsui. Now, this is an interesting one because Matsui got the upset over Iono. You'd imagine that's not her only kind of big win of the tournament, but then Mai Sakurai drop again.
To be fair, like half of the block is an upset for Misa Matsui. Like that's still have Mirai, you still have Nozaki. Even Chanyoda is kind of like an upset for Matsui at some point. Considering
she already faced Chan.
Yeah, of course, but that's what I mean. Like half of the block at least is an upset for her.
That's fair. It's probably Mai then, because Misa already has 4.
Yeah, I don't think Misa gets a win back. Yeah.
Right. Victoria Yuzuki versus Seri Yamaoka. Wow.
That's a draw.
Yeah, they really have not given Yuzuki much over Seri, so they probably won't do it for the first time in the GP. So yeah, this is either Seri or a draw, I would say.
Seri has Utami in Chiba the next show after, so I could easily see her going 3-0 and then Utami stops her.
Possible, yeah. It's kind of all about trying to predict Rossi's dynamics because I mean I feel like he hasn't given Yuzuki many wins over Seri, so I wouldn't give that away here in the Sendai pit. So yeah, maybe Seri does win. That would be a good angle, but you could do a draw because then they'd be on odd number of points, and I feel like to go through on the final day you have to enter almost on odd number.
The thing is, like, if that main event, it's a finish. But the problem is with Rossi's booking is you never know what the main event is until the show happens. Like Stardom at least
That's
tells
true.
you like 24 hours away, but Rossi
I
just
think they were
doesn't.
main eventing with tags, so they did on the Sunday show.
Yeah, but Stand-Up is live.
That's true, but it is like Utami, Shino, Iono, Koki in that tag. Like it is pretty loaded, so they might main event with that, or they'll do Mayu versus Rhea. Man,
Yeah. I think all four
um,
matches could technically main event in some form. So
that's true. Well, let's go on to Mayu Rhea because I'm very interested. Usually, you'd give Rhea maybe a win in Sendai, but that would put Mayu at 1 and 2, which I think is a little bit overzealous. So you're probably going with Mayu crushing her.
yeah, I think Maya should just beat her up,
Okay,
and Rhea plays just babyface for the night. I think
that would
that
be
should work.
cool. Yeah. Chanyota versus Nagisa Nozaki in Star League, which is probably a win for Nozaki. They
Is
probably
it
keep that
Nozaki?
block tight.
Wait, Dylan has Mirai versus Nozaki.
Well,
Did Dylan lie?
it's Chanyota on the website for Marigold. Dylan might have lied. You never know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Either way,
Dylan
she
has
probably
Chanyota on the
Nozaki.
16th.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he got them mixed up, or maybe they changed it. It's very possible.
I would
Um,
just look on their Twitter.
all right,
But
if you can
yeah,
find it.
yeah, we then there's Sonny always posts the schedule.
Yeah, but then he retweets like 50 things.
Mirai has which date do we have?
10th.
The 10th. Yeah, it's Chanyota and Nozaki.
Okay, so Dylan
Dylan
was
was
wrong.
lying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nozaki wins because then I think there's a bunch of them like grouped together on 4 points in that block.
Yeah, I would agree, but I would simply add the reason I don't think Nozaki lays down for Chanyota.
That too. Yeah, that too. Gotta factor in the politics there.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, that looks like a fun show. But again, who knows? I'm gonna watch it all because life is pain. Life is not pain though. When you get onto Stardom, woo! That is definitely one of the quickest Marigold bits we've ever done because about 50 minutes. You know, it's not so Stardom on the news front, it's been announced that Stardom will take part in Forbidden Door. They're doing a TBS Championship 4-way. It will be the TBS Women's Champion versus an AEW wrestler versus a CMLL wrestler versus a Stardom wrestler. It's going to be Azumi or Momo because I'm starting to question whether Tony Khan even knows the rest of the roster, and Mercedes Moné doesn't seem to want to wrestle any of the rest of the roster. So it's going to be Azumi or Momo Watanabe.
We should send in Miyo Masaki so she can live her nightmare dream of going back to the UK.
Yeah, I kind of forget that Forbidden Door is in London. It's
Yeah. I'm flying over in like 2 weeks, and I've totally forgotten about it, to be honest.
Wow. I mean, that's a better life than me. I have to go to SmackDown soon.
I
Yeah.
hope you can at least see Julia. Maybe she teams up with Kiana James
I
or
don't know.
something.
They've done a funny thing
Julia
where
and Kiana James as a tag team, that would be something for you.
no, they are advertising Tiffany Stratton, so I think Tiffy will be on it. And
I
John
don't know if
Cena.
that's. Oh,
Yeah, John Cena's cool. You know.
you maybe get Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming to Dublin. I would be completely shocked if that man bothered getting on a flight to Ireland of all places.
Didn't he wrestle
There's
like in France last year? No, wait, that
I
was
don't know.
the wrong
France is
team.
like pretty cool though. Like, why would you go to France? Like, France is cool, but
When
I
did the
don't know.
match happen?
You
No,
never
it
know.
was Puerto Rico against Cody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's easier to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't. They brought over Becky for it, even though she's a Raw wrestler. But I think she's a dark match, so we can all go, yay, Becky, Lyra, yay.
Oh my god.
Anyway, onto the start. You agree anyway? Momo or Azumi will be the
Yeah, I think it's Azumi. Like, we will not find it out until the Kurikan Hall show, where they eliminate pretty much every star they have. Do you think they will run like some kind of match to determine, or will they just say, okay, someone
um.
challenges the backstage promo like they did with Momo last year?
They might do a match to qualify, like they did for the Wrestle
Yeah,
Dynasty one, because that
I would
seems to be the
imagine at
idea.
least that considering AW is doing a qualifier, I would at least
Yeah,
think that CMLL is likely doing one as well. So it would kind of be weird if some doesn't do one. But
yeah.
there's like no show to do that. So,
They'll squeeze it in somewhere. You'd
yeah,
assume.
maybe someone gets like a couple of people get eliminated at block stage. They do it at the Kurikan Hall show or something as a
Yeah,
match between, so that the other wrestlers get a break.
that would be a good idea. Um, that is all the news from Stardom, as far as I can see. They haven't done much else. So we only have the meager 5 shows, I think, to review for Stardom. Is it? Yeah, it started on Friday, right? I'm not missing any. Or was there one on Wednesday?
We have the first one was on August 1st. No, wait, July 30th. Yeah, the second day
Yeah.
with Nuts
Okay.
versus
Yeah. See,
Toga.
because Stardom's result page does by month, so it was like there's only 5 shows, but there are more. Okay, so on the 30th of July, the 5-star went to Morioka in front of 448 fans. We opened with Saya Kamatani versus Yuna Mizumori when Saya beat Yuna in just under 9 minutes with a Star Crusher. This was at a point where I was not very pleased with pro wrestling, and Sai Kamatani doing stomps was driving me insane. And so I thought this was okay, but not on the level I was expecting from Unimon.
Yeah, I feel like I'm bringing up my point for Sakimura here. I feel like her role is just attracting new viewers via YouTube and
Yeah.
do the least she needs to do, because she will go out all out against Hana and Kurikan, against Mei Sarah at Yokohama Budokan, and whoever she faces in the Kurikan Hall main event, likely in the quarterfinals. That will be like a big free match, and the other matches she will just do nothing. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I can totally understand it.
Mei Sarah beat Lady C in 7.5 minutes with the Ryuseryu. I don't know what that is. This
It's a
was
submission,
oh
I
yes,
think.
yes. This was like good-ish. I think Mei Sarah had a much more interesting creative match after this, and Lady C had better matches after this. But I do think they make for a good pairing. This just wasn't the show for it. So I don't know. I thought it was good-ish, but not anything much better.
If you told me this match has never happened, I would totally believe you.
Yeah, no, that's
This
a
is
lot
one
of
of the
matches.
one of the 10 to 50 matches on this show I have like, okay, it was okay, nothing else.
Yeah, that's fair. Starlight Kid beat Rian in 9 minutes with a Black Tiger leg destroyer. I remember this being good. I remember enjoying Rian's performance in this. I think she's had some really standout matches. And she was kind of a bright spot in a dark day when I was watching this. So I recall enjoying this, but this was at least 50 matches ago. So I may be misremembering.
That was before the Dreamstar even started, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I think that Rian had both, like Rian had better outings in the GP than this one. I think especially the one against Karawa was much better. But I still think this was like really, like, it was good for what it was supposed to be. I think that Rian is slowly figuring out, and I feel like that the promotion is slowly getting behind her.
Yeah, the fans are too.
Yeah, especially the fans. Like, it has the Waka effect, not to the extent that Waka has it, and also Waka cooled off by this point already.
Mm.
But it helps her that she had this losing streak, got the win, got the big match against Hina that people were seemingly impressed with. Not only us, but also the crowd itself. And now she works this house show tournament matches and like position number 4 and gets cheers. So like she gets chance even. So she should be happy with the tournament. I think she did well here against the white belt champion.
Yes.
That was better than Asumi's Delicate. Thank you.
We got the B Priestley beating Azusa Inaba in 10.5 minutes with Plan B. This is okay. Again, very slow effort from B. Azusa wasn't really interested in picking up the pace. He did a lot of arm work from what I recall, because I remember like wanting to bash my head in from all of the arm work on this show, and B was one of the main proponents of that. So yeah, 10 minutes
he worked
of that.
Heel 2 against like the heel, which was like really stupid.
Yes, her instincts are interesting, to say the least. Azumi beat Tomoka Inaba then in 12.5 minutes with a diving foot stomp. I thought this was a good-ish match again. They also did arm work that made me go, dude, I literally saw your sister doing the arm wrench 10 minutes ago. You were doing the exact same arm wrench. This is pain. But I like Tomoka, and Azumi is good. So I thought they pulled through.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the issue with having two sisters that are like wrestling pretty much the same in the same tournament, that you pretty much get the same match. One is just always better, which is the Tomoka one, because she has experience. That it's not like what you want to see back to back, and I feel like they should split them up a bit more. Azumi on the other side, I think they did like really well. This was like the clear standout match of the show, and like the only match on the show I would personally recommend you watching if you don't have the time, like we do, to watch all these matches, because I don't really want to know how many matches I've seen over the past couple of days in terms of like the 5-star and the Dream Star, as well as watching the G1 Climax on top of that to review that and everything. So that was one of the better matches in general on that we will talk about here.
We followed that up then with one of the best matches of the tournament. Hanan beat Waka Tsukiyama in 1 minute with a backdrop driver. I just love the role of Waka in this tournament. She just tries her best to win, knows she's going to get beat, so she tries to like roll them up immediately. She starts the match quick, and she just dies. And it is so good, and it is such a great formula. And when she eventually wins, it will get such a big reaction. I love this kind of stuff. It's just so easy, and it makes the matches stand out, and it's making her almost more interesting than some of the other wrestlers.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, if we need to mention like 5 wrestlers and they need to stand out, Waka would definitely be in simply by default, because her matches are just so different from everyone else, even though they are short and pretty much nothing. Like, you can't really rate them or say anything about them other. They are creatively really well done, and she always finds a way to get one on top. Like this one against Hana was like really funny, and the one against Sakimura later was like even better.
That was perfect. We followed that up then with Rina beating Sayaka Kurara in 11 minutes with a Pink Devil. I thought it was a good effort. Rina is really good at what she does. I think Kurara as the baby face is a pretty simple role for her, and she plays it well. And they give Kurara a lot. They've kind of given her a lot of matches where she gets to kind of show a lot of resilience down the stretch. And this was another one where Rina just kind of bombarded her a little bit. Kurara tried to fight through it, but Rina eventually got the win.
Dave Meltzer just quoted me. Yeah, he posted him, like he was like saying that I'm sorry if I'm doing this in part, that he was like predicting the exact amount of views that the Brock Lesnar return would get. And he was like, even a broken clock is right. 1,440 times a day. Amazing. The match itself was good. Like, I think this should have been a bigger match in terms of like, considering it was the Cinderella final, but I don't think the Cinderella final is remembered in terms of Taro Kata's eyes, so I don't think that matters for him. Yeah, it was good. Like, I liked it. They had solid wrestling. It was one of the, like, by default, it was one of the better matches, because like a lot of these matches were just not good outside of Azumi vs Tomoko. So there's that.
We got it on to the main event, which was Natsuko Tora beating Natsupoi in 10 minutes with a Swanton bomb. I quite liked this. I don't know what the general reaction was. Like I thought they did a really clever layout, and I loved how they just did little big stuff, like Natsupoi going for the German and Natsuko just flattening her is one of my favorite things. I thought like Natsupoi's submission work was all really good and really interesting. And like Natsuko's been moving really well. I think in this tournament she's got her knees back and just generally was playing the big very well. Like I just really liked what they did. I just thought they built the match really well from start to finish.
Yeah, it was the typical house show main event match that you have seen like 25 times in terms of the quality. Like, really good, not great. And I think that is perfectly what they should have gone for. Like, this is like not a big match in terms of like, okay, we need to go all out here, but they went solid enough, had a cool finishing stretch. I think Tora is always like at least really good in a GP. It sucks that she doesn't have too many GP runs under her belt because she missed out last year. She had the one before in 2023 that was like really good, where she had this great match against Mayu, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And so on. She missed out in 2022 and 2021, and 2020 was the bad one where she had the DQs.
Oh man, that 2020 GP. Y'all weren't there, man. That was rough. My goodness. They were doing fucking 15, 20-minute time limit draws in front of 20 people clapping.
The Cyrus Himeka match was like so bad.
That is a nightmare match. I literally still remember that match to this day because it was that bad. Like,
yeah,
but I was not having a good time.
This match was like good. Like I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And that was that show. You know, the main event really salvaged me at that point in time. I was not having a good time with wrestling. I was ready to retire from podcasting. And thankfully, Stardom kind of turned it around eventually. It didn't start with this, though, because we had the show on Friday in Koriyama, August 1st, in front of 384 people. And we opened with Bozilla beating Yuri Hime in 4 minutes with a pile driver. I liked what they did. You know, Yuria is like a very natural baby face. Her offense is good. Like she just does WWE moves that she's stolen, and it's cool. And I like Bozilla being the monster. So, you know, I thought they did what they needed to do in 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was okay enough for squash. I'm still not really a big fan of Brazilian squash matches, funny enough. I still don't think she's like really good at 5-ish match, like a 5-minute-ish matches. I don't think she was good at it last year as well in the Dream Star. Like there was especially one against I think Misa. Was it Misa? Where there was like
It was one of the early ones, I think.
Yeah, there was like on day one where she had Misa and Kizuna were like both like just really not good. I think she has been getting better, but I don't think there was like anything to write home about. I think there was a Bozilla match later on in the tournament that was like offensive.
Yes, I think I know the one you're talking about. We got on to Suzu versus Momo Kogo. Suzu beat Momo in just under 7 minutes with a tequila shot, and I have no idea why this went 7 minutes. They were doing like 50-50 spots, and I was like, you're against Momo Kogo. Just beat her, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
Very
Momokogo
odd
is the
match.
Momokogo is the D-pull of the Stardom roster, so she's respected.
I guess, but I was
No,
so
I have no
surprised.
clue.
I was like, Suzu just beat her, dude. But you know, it was cool. I had that same issue some of the Marigold matches did, where I was like, why aren't you just trying to win? Like, just try to win, please. But it was cool. You know, Suzu just like is cool. We got on to Sari beating Rani Yagami in 10.5 minutes with a double foot stomp. Again, you know, an enjoyable match. I think Sari's just felt weird in this GP. She like peaks her matches and then takes them to the ground or something. And I'm kind of baffled at how she's laying her matches out. Also, the lack of the entrance theme takes away all of her aura points.
Yeah.
So like I thought they did some good stuff, like her and Rana at the start trading strikes and just getting more and more aggressive was awesome. But I don't think they had a 10.5 minute match in them.
The problem with this also is we have the Kurkin match. And the Kurkin match had the atmosphere that this one was kind of lacking because we were in the middle of nowhere. You were like in Fukushima or something.
Yeah.
Shout out Ami
Was
Story.
this the show where you could hear the fans, like the actual fans, more than the people? Or was that the one on Wednesday? 'Cause it was one of the GP shows where all you could hear was like the AC over everything.
Yeah, I could imagine it was this one. There were like multiple shows where they just had their fans out. The fans had the fans out, so that was kind
Yeah.
of funny. That was one of them. I don't know. I thought it was fine enough, but I feel like they had a much better one, and this was kind of like okay enough. And to add to the entrance points, I just need to say this. You notice that especially because she's getting boost now, and you don't
Yeah.
hear the boost during her entrance when she takes off the robe or something and is in the ring, because you just hear nothing, and it takes so much away from the act that Sari is supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It gets worse in the Hina match.
Yes, big time. But they managed to pull through. We got on then to Sari Ano beating Miyu Amasaki in 10 minutes with the potato ring, apparently. I don't think that's the actual
Yeah,
move, but
it's the pottering special roll up where she just does something before the pottering, then goes into the pottering.
we love translation errors. The potato ring. I liked this. I like the dynamic between Ano and Miyu Amasaki. Like they like as I said last week, Sari Ano literally made Kevin's career in a random New Blood show one day, and Miyu just never looked back. And it just works. Like Ano just like bullies the shit out of her, and Miyu Amasaki is a very good babyface. So I thought this was good, but definitely was still suffering from the whole there's no energy to this, no energy in the venue anyway, for this one. So I thought they did good, but it was held back a lot by
Yeah.
the crowd.
I feel like, considering this is one of the few matches that has like a story, because or like, I wouldn't say story, but they have this bit going around which city in the West is better, when like Anu is like from Shiga and Miyu is from Kyoto, and they do this bit like,
Yeah.
I'm from there, no, I'm from there, and they have to speak like the Kansai acts and everything. I feel like they can do better, and I feel like this was like, I don't know, I don't understand why they didn't run this in Kyoto. Like, this is the
I
match I
don't
would have
know.
run in Kyoto.
I guess because then Miyu would probably win.
Yeah, Hanako is also losing in her hometown, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you know, nobody likes Hanako. So
I think this was fine enough.
yeah, you're
I
the
will come to
Kevin
that later.
hater. So, the next one was Momo Watanabe beating Konami in 10.5 minutes of the Peach Sunrise. This is a good effort. Like it definitely is hard to pull off a heel versus heel match, but like these two are just kind of, well, Momo more so. They're just kind of hard hitters. They just kind of do their shit, and I thought it was good. But holy crap, this would have been such a great match a few years ago, or even if one of them was babyface. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. Like I thought they at least worked snug enough to kind of keep it interesting.
Yeah, I think heel versus heel matches just work in specific venues where you have the atmosphere for it, and I don't think this was the atmosphere for that. You would have had the atmosphere in Kurikan, but I don't think you can say this about every single match on every single card. So there's that. I think they went a bit over the board with the crowd crawling at points. Like the chair bowling happened like twice or three times or so.
Yeah, the chair bowling
Like,
has been an issue.
yeah, because you have so many hate members and all of them do it.
Even the non-hate members,
Suzu does it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we get it. Come on. But yeah, that was that. We got onto the main event, which was Amisori beating Saida in 12 minutes with like a thunderbolt, and I really enjoyed this. Saida took a ridiculous bump almost immediately onto the apron, and I was like, what is wrong with you? And then they were just like hossing it up in the crowd among the people, and dude, Amisori just like unlocked something. I have no fucking clue how, but she, since coming back from injury, feels like a different wrestler. It's like she just grasped how to be interesting. You put her with Saida, who's like maybe the MVP of the tournament. It was just really, really fun. I really like this. This was like at a point where I was just so down. I'd watched so many matches. I was like, I'm so down on wrestling. I do not want to watch anymore. But these two still pulled out a good match that made me kind of go, you know what? I like Amisori. So there we are.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think this was like a very good main event. I'm sorry, Scott, the crowd was the most into it. So I'm happy with how this went in that form. Like, I think this was just a good match. Ami had an even better one on the other show. And Ida, of course, had also had the opening match against Saori that was like really good. So both of them having good tournaments. I think they can be like, they are pretty much carrying the entire block.
Yeah,
Well, if not even the entire blue side so far.
possibly.
Together.
But after that, we got into. I think this is when there was a real. I don't know what happened, but there was a shift in the tournament on this show on August 2nd in the Sendai pit in front of 470 people. It's like everybody just kind of stopped working in second gear and decided to push the limits because everything from here on out was so much better than the first 3 days, first 3 or 4 days. And it just like it started with Carrara versus Rian. I never thought I would enjoy a Sayaka Carrara versus Rian match this much, but it was so good. Like Carrara beat Rian in 8 minutes with a Falcon Arrow, but it was really fun. It was really well done. The crowd was into both of them. Like the near falls were really well done. Like, I just really, really enjoyed this. This has all of the intensity that I've come to know from Joshi wrestling that had been completely missing from all the other tournaments up till this point. And this just felt like the turnaround point for the GP. It was like these two made everybody go, okay, we've all got to step up the game.
Yeah, Senna Pit good in Stardom at least. Senna Pit good. I think this was like a very good opening match, likely the best opening match we had so far. Combined couple of days, combined 5 days. Because they just had this rookie energy that that is like what is lacking in a lot of these Dreamstar matches. You just don't have the intensity or like rookies just bring something out that most of the veterans just see as normal. Like, okay, trying to intense the crowd and everything. And the rookies try even harder to do that. And I think they did really excel in this one. Like, Rian looked really good here as well. I think that was the best Carrara performance that she had where she wasn't an underdog, like against someone equal to her. And they had a really good match. I'm surprised it got like so bad of a rating in comparison to other matches on Cage Match.
Really?
Cage Match
I haven't
wrong.
actually checked.
Yeah, it's like 5.6.
What?
Yeah, it's the lowest
5.6.
match. It's the lowest match of the show.
That is absurd. This was like one of the better matches of the weekend. What is wrong with people?
I don't know. People the inmates are bad.
Yeah, no, the cage match users are a little weird lately. But all right. Well, you know what? I disagree with cage match, so that's all right. We got on then too. B Priestley versus Waka Tsukiyama. B won in just under 5 minutes. Trust B to get the longest Waka match of the tournament. Trust her to not get the assignment. But I thought it was okay. Like I thought they did well enough. Waka kept doing the like I'm trying to win babyface bit, which was good. Especially liked B rolling her up and celebrating like she just won the World Cup. That was very endearing, and that was better than anything else. So that's all I needed.
Yeah, I personally felt like it would have been better if they just did a squash. Like, B has the move set to do a good squash match.
Yeah, dude, just like
just
B trigger,
B trigger,
Kamigoye.
B trigger, bam. Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
she does the Kamigoye anymore. Does she?
Oh, I don't know.
She has no
I haven't
knees.
seen her do it, but that's true.
So it would be kind of less effective. No, but I feel like it would have been better because it would have fit Waka's match style better. And I have a question for you because it's the last Waka match we have been talking about here. Do you think she is able to get a combined 20 minutes of in-ring time in this tournament?
No.
She has 7 right now.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
And she has 3 matches against Atsuza, Lady C, and Yunaman.
I think like Lady C might go the longest of those, but even then, I'm not sure.
That's the final night, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the final night. They might go like 6 or 7 or so, and she beats her. Like she
Possible.
beats Lady C.
We go on then to Natsupoi beating Tomoka Inaba in 9 minutes with a fairy magic. I thought this was a good match. I like a lot of the stuff Tomoka is doing in this tournament. I think Natsupoi the foot off the gas here and didn't like go all out, which would have taken this to greatness. But I thought they did well enough for what they were doing, because I mean they weren't going to work super hard third from the bottom. So I think for where they were, Tomoka at least dragged it up.
I thought the leg segment was like not good.
Yeah.
Like we should stop working legs in Stardom. I think that would help a lot. We had the peak with Sarui and Starlight Kid. We don't need anything else. Just stop leg working. Thank you.
I agree. Saya Kamitani beat Azusa Inaba in 8 minutes with a Star Crusher. Very good match. You know, Kamitani turned the keys and went, you know what, I'm going to remind you all that I can wrestle. And Azusa, as we know, is very good. So I thought she gave Azusa a lot and tried to make this a competitive match. Azusa pulled out a moonsault and almost killed Kamitani, which was awesome. And then Kamitani said, I am going to beat you. So, you know, this was good.
Yeah, I like this too. I think this will be the best non-Kamitani big match that we'll get in this tournament. And I'm glad it's against Atsusa because she hasn't been like having a good tournament so far because the Hana match went like so short. And B Priestley is like B Priestley and the latest one was like solid. So her getting Kamitani on the show at like a random mid card and they actually did something. I'm happy with that. Yeah, it was good.
All right. Lady C beat Yuna Mizumori in just about 7 minutes with a reverse Oklahoma Stampede. I like this. These are two of my favorites, so of course I like this. Like they're good at what they do. Unimon always brings the goodness and always brings the fight and the energy. And Lady C does her big boots and her tall lady moves, and it's just fun. So I liked this one.
Yeah, this was totally fine. I'm a bit surprised that it was so high on the card. Like I would have expected this to be like
they're bringing the fun.
They're bringing the boom.
Hell yeah.
It was
Hanan,
okay.
Yeah, Hanan and Meisera wrestled a 15-minute time limit draw. This is a pretty good match. You know, they're a good match for each other. We all remember the singles match they had a while back and the feud that they were trying to build that never went anywhere. They're just a very natural pairing, and I think Mei Sarah in this was more creative than she's been in a while. Like this is the Mei Sarah that we all kind of loved in Marvelous, where she was just so interesting and different, and you put her against Hanan, who is always enjoyable. I thought it made it for a very fun match.
I thought this was like phenomenal. I think this was by far the best match of the tournament so far. And they, even though they aren't, they feel like generational rivals that should be fighting over the white and red belt in the future. Like the intensity they are bringing is like straight up phenomenal wrestling, and that is like pretty much what everyone has been lacking so far. Like this is like exactly what I want to see in this tournament. It is exactly how I want to see a draw in a tournament. Shout out to Aono and Mirai, because they didn't need locks or anything to save time. They just went all out crazy for 50 minutes and did everything they can do, ran it home at the 50-minute mark, and then I can't really say anything bad. Like this was just great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Rina beat Natsuko Tora in just under 10 minutes in our next match. A big win for Rina. I think I called this last week because I just think they're that high on Rina that they would give her the win over the faction leader. I thought it was a good match as well. Again, you have the problems with heel versus heel, but I thought they had enough action, especially down the stretch, to kind of keep it going, and the build up of the near falls was really well done. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Tora is one of the more giving leaders. Like she put over Starlight Kid in the 2023 run where like Starlight Kid won like nothing for the first 5 matches or so. And then like she randomly was pulled up the upset over Tora, and he as well. I think Tora like in 2023 GP even like beat the red belt champion everything before that, and it just last year against Starlight Kid. I think this was a good match against from Rina especially. I think she has been slowly getting into the groove again as a singles worker in these more mid-cardish spots, and I think she did well. Like I feel like the big one is missing for her in this tournament so far, and I think she's getting it against Starlight Kid, if not against Azumi. The one in her hometown was close to that, but I don't think it jumped the shark to the next level. But this one against Toro was like totally fine to good.
Okay. Azumi and Starlight Kid also wrestled to a 15-minute time limit draw in their match. I kind of like them as a pairing because they've worked in the limb stuff, the limb targeting. Like I think that stopped them from getting super stale to me. But it's definitely not the generational pairing that I think they initially were. I think they've kind of lost the step that used to make them so interesting. But I just really like how Starlight Kid targets the leg. It's just really fun to watch. You know, even in her worst match, I feel like it's interesting enough. So like I totally get why maybe people didn't like this match, but I had a good time, even if I definitely don't think this is a pairing capable of greatness anymore.
I think this was bad, straight up bad.
Wow.
Like legitimately not bad in terms of bad match, but bad in terms of what they should be doing. I'm so over this match, and I noticed that at also Grand Cranium at first, where they had this, I think, underwhelming match, and now
Yeah.
they had a main event match in the Sendai pit, and they pretty much like there were at least 3 matches in my opinion that were better, if not 4, and that is not what you want from a generational pairing, or at least something that they originally wanted to be a generational pairing. Because the limb work of Starlight Kid is really good. The problem just is that limb work doesn't matter on Azumi because Azumi just doesn't know how to sell, or she doesn't want to sell. You can decide what is worse. She just doesn't sell, she just does her stuff, and it like the first 8 matches or so of a limb work match against Azumi is just pretty much you can skip it because you miss nothing. And that is a huge issue with her, in my opinion, for my personal enjoyment, because I try to notice like little stuff like that. And at some point, when you have watched so many wrestling matches like I do, you can't overlook these kind of things anymore. I did like the last couple of years, but I'm at this point just okay. I will call it out when I see something bad. And I think they need something fresh in the rivalry. I don't know what it is, but I don't think the high speed stuff is that anymore, and I don't think the leg work stuff works as well for them. So I don't know really what they should do with this matchup. Maybe just not run it for like 2 years or so. That would be something. But to be fair, I don't know if they can run it in 2 years anymore. So there's that.
I think maybe we're seeing why Rossi never put Azumi in a white or red belt match. I feel like when you ask her to do more than the sprint stuff, she really has struggled lately. Because I also didn't love the white belt match with Kid. I thought I had a lot of issues in terms of filling the time. And now even here, while I did enjoy the match, as I was kind of saying, a lot of that was Kid. You know, I think Kid's just really fun to watch at how she picks apart the leg. So maybe it is just a Nazumi problem. She just has to get better, you know? And maybe Rossi saw what we didn't, and he was like, you can't do that. Because even her big match with Mayu was kind of a sprint in the Dome, and their GP match was a sprint. So maybe he kind of understands her limitations, whereas Taro is a bit more likely to just let her go out and try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she definitely needs to figure out how to fill time a little bit better because she is struggling.
I feel like he needs to, because if she doesn't figure it out by next year's Queendom, I feel like it's over for her to get a white belt run. Or at least get into the top spots.
It's probably over anyway because she's probably going to get signed. But
yeah, that's why I'm saying they can't run the match in like 2 years anymore. But the issue just is that you have so many names. Like we have 32 wrestlers in this match, in this tournament. And I would argue that at least 15 of them are better white belt or red belt suited than Azumi right.
Yeah.
That's just a name out of my head. Like alone on this show, you have Poi, Tomoka, Kurara, Hanan, Sarah, Starlight Kid, Rina. And I wouldn't count in Tora and Saya Kamitani because they are not on white belt or red belt. So, like, that's 7 wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's going to struggle, you know. But, you know, she's good at what she does, which we'll talk about a bit in a little bit. But definitely needs to step up. After that, then Stardom on a double header of their own on Sunday, which initially looked like hell. I don't think you guys understand how much I was looking at 4 shows across 2 days and was like, I might die. But as we'll get into, I thought they had a pretty good day. So we had the day show first. They have these the wrong way around. So I had the wrong one up. So we had on the first show on Sunday, the August 3rd, was in Tochigi in front of 542 fans. Aya Sakura opened up against Yuria Hime and won in just under 6 minutes with the cherry blossoms in full bloom. I think the crowd really helped make this one because Aya was just kind of beating on Yuria with her combos, and Yuria was trying to fight back, but the crowd had a lot of energy to it, and I think they really took it over the line.
Yeah, I think this was okay enough. Like, Cage Match has this under 4, which is insane.
Wow.
But I think this was like
It
solid
must have been
enough.
so weird because they loved the Dream Star, and I was like, "What were you guys watching?" Like, some of these matches have 7s.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that was boring as hell.
Yeah, first of all, that, and second of all, like, there were matches way worse that got like a high rating even in Stardom. There's that. I feel a bit bad for both so far because they have been like not getting much in this GP so far. Like,
Yeah.
Aya, of course, got squashed by Ami. Sorry, on day was it
Yeah.
Ami? Yeah, it was Ami on day
minutes.
1, and then had the match against Ryoko that got postponed, and then now this against Hime that was pretty much a 5-minute match that was like between rookies. In comparison, like if you compare that and Yuria's tournament, of course, as well, with Kurara, Rian, Hanako, and Rana, who all got like 10-minute matches against the top girls so far, it's kind of rough for them right now. But I think they will hopefully get the few spots that will get.
Aya definitely has a run coming because she still has to face Ida, Hano, and
I think
Ozora.
Aono is in her hometown as well.
Yeah, like they're all going to be pretty good. So I think
I think Hime is going to be squashed in like 5 minutes every match.
Probably.
Definitely.
In our next match, Hanako beat Momokogo in just under 9 minutes with a Shirasagi submission. Why did this go 9 minutes? And why does nobody care about Hanako? I feel like this is the most dead the crowd was for the entire 2 shows. Like they just just not into it.
Hanako's undefeated.
How?
I think.
Why are they so into this woman who just doesn't work?
Yeah,
It is
I mean,
like,
she beat Momokogo and Rana Yagami, and she has all the snap flipped, but they gave her a big start early on purpose, and she's not good. Rian is much better than her.
Yeah, honestly, I would agree. I think Rian's great.
New Blood Waka is also better.
Waka has always been better. She just relies on the ass.
Yeah, but only in New Blood. Like otherwise, she doesn't show it.
Yeah,
so
it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, Hanako, and just I don't know. We've kind of I've eased off the Hanako stuff lately, but watching this tournament and just seeing how she just exists, and yet they've tried so much to get her over, I'm just baffled. It's like Austin Theory. It was like it's just not working. Just give up, man. Like he's not that dude. No matter how much you try. I feel like Hanako's gonna fall into that kind of category where it's like you just have to take the L eventually. It's just not working.
Yeah. It's especially noticeable because you have all these other rookies in this tournament that are getting the same amount of opportunities, pretty much, and have better matches. So there's that.
And better reactions usually.
That anyway, yeah.
We then got into Saida beating Rocca in 5 minutes with an Ida Bashi. I liked this. This was fun. Rocca is good and Saida is good. So I had a good time.
They should have given this one 9 minutes instead of Momokogo vs Hanako. I think they have like a really good one in them because they have like a simple layup after Rocca took the back tech belts from them, and they could have gone like a house fight and everything. Instead, we have like 5 minutes of a solid enough match. Sadly.
Our next match saw Rani Agami upset Konami in 7 minutes when she pinned her with the Paradiddy. I liked some of this. There's like some technical stuff that wasn't good, but like the strikes were cool and the finish was cool, so I didn't mind it.
I'm so baffled by this Konami booking.
I'm
Why
baffled
is
by
she
everything to do with Konami.
why is she beating Sari and then just loses the next two match? Like, you can't argue that Sari should have lost her first match either. But like, I'm so confused at why Konami's now losing, like, at least the next two matches. You know, it feels like she had momentum and time to lose again, and then she doesn't try. Like, this match was okay. It's kind of poetic in some form that Konami beats Sari to avenge Sari, and then just loses to the junior Shuri, which was like kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
Like, everything in the tournament so far that has been somewhat important is built around the girl that had just got surgery, so that's kind of funny. But otherwise, it was like solid enough match.
Yeah. Bozilla beat Miyu Amasaki in 5.5 minutes with a styles clash. They had some big ideas, but oh my goodness, they did not work. They tried some like really cool counters into DDTs from Miyu, and it was like not clicking at all. And then when Miyu would try and like get offense, it just didn't really look good. The only thing that looked good was a Bozilla almost killing Miyu on a senton at one point, when she just her full body weight landed on her. I don't know how she continued the match.
I think this was the worst match of the tournament. Like,
It's definitely a contender. It was not good.
it was not good, and that was like the moment I jumped the shark and just tweeted at Miyu Hamasaki. Because I really love her tags and trios. I think she's a fantastic trios and tags work, but I just don't get it. I don't know what it is. Like, literally nothing. She does literally nothing that interests me outside of DDTs. And if the DDTs doesn't hit because they didn't work, they didn't communicate well, and also Brazilla just didn't really bump well for them, he just has nothing to offer for me that makes her stand out compared to others. Like, I feel like her moveset is pretty much DDTs and hoping she can take some cool bumps. That's like her matches.
Yeah.
And Kurara, Rian, all of them have limited movesets as well, but they have a much more creative moveset, and it makes their offense stand out more. I feel like that Miyu Hamasaki is good at hot takes and hot tags, and that's pretty much it. And I don't need to see like any offense from her until she has figured out her moveset. Sadly, because I think she is a great babyface. She gets the crowd behind her really well. And I think she has everything figured out outside of her moveset.
Yeah, I guess. I think maybe she just got so used to O2 Lion, because she was in
Once again,
such a
Azumi's
bad wrestler
fault.
for a long time. Yeah, Azumi's fault. And also she started off as such a technical wrestler and then had to completely overhaul herself. So yeah, I kind of get it, but yeah, I thought that was a very weak match. And you'd think her stuff would work with Bozilla too, like the DDTs and the selling, but it just didn't at all. Thankfully, we got onto a good match. Momo Watanabe beat Suzuki with a Peach Sunrise in 13 minutes. This was a gritty war. Like this was the match it needed to be. It stood out from everything else because they were just trading blows. They did that sick spot on the apron where Suzuki was kind of give her a Ganzo bomb type thing onto the apron. Like when you look at Momo Watanabe and Suzuki, you're like, obviously that's gonna be a fucking good match. Look at them. Like, these are two great wrestlers. And they just delivered. It was just good. It was very much not in line with everybody else because they don't do the spot to spot athletic stuff. They're just like, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna beat you up. And that is a perfect pairing.
Yeah, the pile drive Gonzo bomb on the apron. That is like a move I would not take on further on a random city out of nowhere. But I respect it for the love of the game. But yeah, I thought this match was like really good. That is like the type of match you won't have in your top 10 at the end of the tournament. But it's like a match that you need in a tournament to make the tournament good. Because like otherwise you would have had just a solid shows with some good match, but now you have like a really, really good match, third from the top with personally 2 matches that were at least as good, if not better than this one. And you will have much, much more days than that. And that is what the 5-star always made like so good in the past. Because you had these kind of matches third on the top, fourth on the top of it, in a random city out of nowhere that just were really good. That is exactly what you want. A moment to achieve exactly that goal of having a good match. Bit surprised at Momo going 3-0 early. because she has this rematch coming up, and I thought like, okay, this will be her highlight. But it seems to be that they have at least some bigger plans for her in the block stage as well, outside of just beating Serena.
Momo Watanabe face turn incoming. That's what we're going for. She's gonna beat Saya.
Definitely. I mean, if it's Momo Watanabe, she would just win the 5-star, turn babyface, and then lose the title challenge.
Yeah, she probably would, but we don't talk about that. Our next match was Ami Sourei beating Sori Ano in 12.5 minutes with like a thunderbolt. This is a very, very good match. Played into both of their strengths quite well. Ami at one point slapped the absolute shit out of Sori Ano, and I just went, you know what? Ami Sourei, you are the one. Very good match. Ano is perfect. Ano is such a perfect tournament wrestler because she's like both precise and slow and really like fast paced. She's such an interesting worker. She just makes it work no matter what in sub 15-minute matches. And Ami Sourei, as I said, I think she just clicked, like something in her brain just went, here's how to be a good wrestler, and she hasn't looked back. And she just met the standard here of Ano.
Yeah, Zoe is like the thing. She has great chemistry with everyone she faces. Like, there's no wrestler she has bad chemistry with outside of Natsupoi, maybe.
Yeah, Natsupoi has bad chemistry with the most random people. So
yeah, that's like my point. Like, someone like Natsupoi, even Starlight Kid, Azumi, Maika, all the time, like bad chemistry with at least a couple of others, and and Saori has like, outside of maybe Poi, and I still think they have a great match in them. She just has great chemistry with everyone. That was like here the thing with Saori as well. I think they had a really good one. I personally prefer that over this Suzu versus Momo one as well. But also I bought really into Saori as the 5-star winner. I am like 90% sure she just should win because there's like such a simple layup with the Hanan final and everything, and especially if the final is the Yokohama Budokan, not the final, the title match is the Yokohama Budokan instead of Sumo Hall, I would just go with this. What can go wrong? You can't, if you give someone like Sayaka Kurara, who is like a literal rookie, a title shot in a Cinderella, why not just trying with as well? Like, the 5-stars has never really been the best of the best just win it, because we have seen like foreigners win it and everything.
Yeah.
And like Yoko Bito and someone like that wasn't really like...
Yoko Bito.
No, I love her, but she's like not the biggest star of them all.
Yeah.
Like, so you can easily give it to Saori, and she, like, if Himeka got a 5-star final, then we can give Saori one as well. She's like 10 times better than Himeka in 2020.
Like I said this almost as soon as she came back. Her comeback match being against Hate was not like by accident.
No.
You know what I mean? And then beating her by cheating in literally every way possible, and Kamatani talking shit to her, that was all on purpose, and I think that as soon as all that happened, it kind of clicked to me that she might be the 5-star winner, just based on how Taro views tournaments as like an elevator rather than something to set up a big match at the year end. Taro kind of views it as, okay, how do we get you to the next level? Because, Wingori won Tag League and that got them to the next level. Carrara won the Cinderella. And, Micah kind of won the GP last year as their, hey, you're our big centerpiece kind of thing. So looking at how Taro has used the tournaments, Ami has made a lot of sense to me. And I think as she goes through the tournament and has these good performances, I think I get more and more confident in that pick.
And not only that, but also the fact that her rival, her only real rival that she has with Hanan, just lost the tag belts and is primed to have like this big run in the 5-star. I would imagine she's at least the one that either eliminates Starlight Kid or Sayaka Mitani, one of them.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And
I think that as a final, as with the reverse result from a Cinderella final, that was the original breakout for Hanan, where she beat Ami Sourei in the final, which was kind of surprising back then, even though we also come months away. I think we called the final like January, when they had this other Stardom title match and had this promo afterwards. And said like, yeah, we are facing off in a singles match. We're like, okay, Cinderella final. and I think they can just run it back. It wouldn't be the best match. Like, it would easily be not a good 5-star final in terms of comparison to the last couple of years, but it would be one of the more logical ones.
For sure. Yeah.
The other one is Tom versus Jerry, but I don't want to see that because I feel like that it would be too obvious that Natsupo's just losing. Meanwhile, an Ami versus Hanan final would be super interesting because you can build it up in so many different ways with, of course, Hanan challenging for both belts if she wins, as well as Ami, of course, challenging also both ones if she wants to. But, of course, going after the red belt.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely going to do some interesting stuff with this tournament and kind of maybe push both Ami and Hanan to the next level somehow. And I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. We main evented this specific show with Sari beating Hina in 13 minutes with a double foot stomp. This is very, very good. I've never seen somebody get heat for hitting forearms, and that is what Sari was doing. She is definitely growing into the heel role. I think initially everybody was taken aback by just how well her promos had worked. Like, the hate match at Corkin was not meant to be babyface hate, but it was. The crowd just turned on them. And I think she's slowly realizing throughout the tournaments that the Stardom fan base does not like her. And so I think this match, you saw her fully leaning into being a bad guy. And I thought it was really fun. I thought Hina it was good as the babyface, the hometown babyface trying to fight back. And Sari was just the ruthless heel on top. And it's a very interesting role to see Sari in. And I think she's doing well.
Yeah, I think that's the best role she can be as an outsider. Like, not only as a character, but I think it slowly translates to matches as well. It was okay against Rana. I feel like that was kind of like not the best effort of Sari.
Yeah.
But here I think she wasn't full out. Like, she was messy. She was kind of a bully, and she didn't give a damn what anyone there thought of her. And that mixed with Hina being in her hometown, so the crowd already leaning towards Hina, and then on top hating Sari, just made it a perfect atmosphere, in my opinion. Like, Sari just went in there, gave Hina a lot, which he also did with Rana, but in the end just destroys and disrespects her in the typical Sari fashion. And I feel like that just is what she always should have been. But they kind of lucked into that, and I don't think anyone expected it, like you said. Like, in Marigold, this would have never worked, because Marigold just doesn't have a baby face that is so over with the crowd, or like with the casual crowd, and especially with the Twitter crowd, that it could have worked. Like, this is, in the best case, it would also have happened in her Marigold run, and she tried to do that in some form, but it just didn't work. Utami's just not Saikamitani that form, sadly, for Marigold as well. And here, she just worked fantastic. And opposite, of course, Hina, who has been on one hell of a run. Like, I think this was her career best match, singles match at least.
Wow.
There aren't too many to compare that, to be fair. Like, there are her feature run, and that's pretty much it. And she has reached a point for me where I go to a show and I see her as one of the more reliable people in Stardom right now. I don't think she's better in the ring than Rina. I don't think she's better in the ring than Hanan. But I think as an overall package, as a character, with her look, I feel like she is more prepared for the future without needing to change up much than Rina and Hanan are. Especially Rina. I feel like Rina still feels like a child wrestler with her outfit and how she presents herself. And I feel like she is moving on sooner than later from this bratty, like from this kid kind of thing, like that she's like this mean 18-year-old, and I feel like this is not something she will do for a long time. And meanwhile, and will move on soon after. I think it started in the GP kind of. Meanwhile, Hina has a character and has a look that she can carry on for like the next 5 to 6 years, if something doesn't go totally wrong. Of course, like slight adjustments, everything. But I think she is someone that they will elevate pretty quickly, even like on the level of Hina, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I kind of get it.
Can I jump in? can
Yeah.
we? There's some Marigold breaking news.
Oh, what is it? What's happened?
Our favorite Jumbo Princess Himeka will appear as a special guest in My Sakurai's Homecoming show on August 16th.
Oh, that's lovely. Himeka is so going to come back to wrestling. I've said this since the day she left. Like, the only reason I think she left is because of the fans bullying her. I think there's a chance that she would come back in a better environment.
Yeah, definitely.
So
100%.
maybe Marigold is it? I don't want it because I didn't like Himeka, but maybe for her own happiness, she might do it.
I loved how you say this after like, oh yeah, the fans.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I wasn't bullying her. Gee, I just, I didn't like her, but I wouldn't take that to the social medias, Yeah, that's kind of nice. Anyway, our last show to review, thankfully, was the night show from Utsunomiya. We started with Saikamatani beating Wakasuyama in 40 seconds with the spinning Star Crusher. This is 5 stars. This is perfect. This is literally the perfect execution of in tournament booking, in ring action, and the crowd, because it all worked.
Yeah, the little promo before that and after that added a little bit as well. Like I don't have the translation for that. I'm not Dylan, but everything like lined up for it to be exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. Hold on. I have the Stardom website. Oh, so Saya was like, I'm gonna beat you in 10 seconds. And Waka was like, oh, so you're tired, is that it? Well, I'll beat you in 10 seconds. So that's what they did.
Amazing.
It's pretty funny. I love it. All right, that was perfect. We got onto Natsuko Tora beating Rian in 5.5 minutes of the diving body press. This is also pretty good. Like, Natsuko just got to look like a beast by beating up Rian, who got her obvious hope spots. But they just kind of sent them in. Tora beat her up and went home.
I thought the idea of like Rian trying to choke out Tora was like really funny. Tora was like just walking around with her while she was like trying to get the choke, and that was like really cool. Like I love Rian's tournament in terms of for what it's supposed to be, and I think Tora and her, they had this squash match at the, when was it? It was the Tag League final, I believe, where they set up Micah versus Tora in no DQ.
Oh, yeah.
After. That was like similar to that. I think that Rian got a bit more offense here, but Tora is like this destroyer in squash matches just works. I wish you would just put her in a Kurikan opening spot against like Emma or someone and just let her destroy her for like 3 minutes.
Yeah. You should like bring in local shindy wrestlers and just let her maul them or something. I think that would be great. Bring squash matches to Japan, all right? It worked for Ryback, man. It could work for anybody.
Did you just compare Ryback to Natsuko Tora?
Well, no, but I mean, we all love the Ryback squashes. He's super over.
I'm actually sad that we don't get Waka versus Tora.
Oh man, yeah, would have been perfect. Maybe next year. In our next match, Lady C beat Azusa Inaba with the big boot in 8.5 minutes. This was good. I like this. Lady C got her win, so I was happy. She's so good. Lady C is so good, dude. Like, you can just see her skill throughout this tournament. Like, she's just, everything she does like works really well. Her big boots always look good. Like, she's having a good tournament, and she got her reward here.
Yeah, she has been pretty good. Like for a while now. The past couple of years, she like the first couple of years were a bit rough, but then she has figured it out in tag matches. Like, and ever since she hasn't looked back, and it has just been consistently solid enough. And that's exactly what you want for her. I think this was one of her better singles matches, not only in this GP, but also like in general, because she doesn't get too many single spots that she has really. Like, did she have like 5 or so in the last year or so? Maybe most of them were like against like a Rana Yagami or someone like that. I think she has showed out here that she can have good matches, and I'm happy for
her. We had Starlight Kid beat Sayaka Kurara in 11.5 minutes with a moonsault press. This is really good. Again, Starlight Kid picking apart the leg was great, and Kurara is like the perfect person to do that with, because she's, the ultra baby face who will sell and make you look good. And again, I thought Kid gave her a lot and let her show a lot of resilience. Like this was just really well done, really feisty when it needed to be. Kid again was just targeting the leg really, really well. Like I liked everything to do with this.
Yeah, Starlight Kid is all. I like Starlight Kid in this tournament has been really good so far in terms of her performances, and Kurara is really stepping up. Like Kurara is always like she will always be a wrestler that gets a lot of backlash because she has been tied first of all to Tamakano, and her Tamakano is which always divides the fan base, but also gets a bigger push. And I don't think that she hasn't been able to show much of this push so far, but I feel like ever since the Kamitani match, she has been getting better in singles matches. Like her GP, really good so far. The Hina match was good before this as well in Sapporo, and this was like her first great one that she had as GP, and I think she can be really happy with that. She should be. Like she proves right now why she's getting all these bigger spots and all these longer matches. I like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. The next match was Universe Mori beating May Sarah in 9.5 minutes with a Supergirl. I really liked how they mixed high speed with just like general good wrestling. And again, this was the more creative side of May Sarah. Like some of the stuff she did was like, you're just kind of like, holy shit, how do you do that? And like Unimon is good at mixing the normal wrestling with picking up the pace. Like the finish just kind of is so fast and so fluid. Like the whole match was fun. And I think, Yuna winning this means she's going to get a high speed title match. And I would kind of like if Unimon won the high speed title. So let's go Unimon. Let's go Tropical Pineapple.
Yeah, I thought it was exactly how you tell an upset victory. Like Sarah had the dominant start, and Unimon always finds her way back with the high speed. Gets more and more offense, then just gets the upset. Even though I don't like the Superman pin, I think this looks kind of like
Really? Oh, I
too
love it.
jobberish. Really, I think this looks like too jobberish for what she is
Wow.
supposed to be. I think she can have a more creative one, but it makes her stands out in the sense that she has like a move that just she does. Like most of the roll ups are just okay, pretty much similar, and she has like one that just is her. In general, I thought this was like fantastic. Like this was one of the best matches of the tournament for me, and I'm because it had like everything I want from like a G1. Like if I had this match in G1, I would have more fun with G1 as well. But this is exactly what I want from the GP. Like 10 minutes all out, and they have a good match story. Like May Sarah has been super B in this tournament so far, and it's kind of a shame that her high speed title run has been mainly because of the rules, but also because she doesn't get the opponents that she deserves. And I feel like she is making more and more the argument over the past couple of months with the Suzu match and now with the GP that she should move up the card pretty quickly. Like, she's a wrestler that I would instantly push above Azumi if I had the chance to.
Oh, for
She
sure.
is so good, and she reminds me of Natsupoi in DDM. Not in terms of like any of the wrestling, but just in the sense that she is the clear number. Like she was the clear number 4 for a long time and is clear number 3. Meanwhile, Poi was of course number 5. But she is so good. Same for like that you just can't deny her at some point. And that was the case with Natsupoi as well. You notice pretty quickly with Natsupoi that she's too good to be the number 5, and she moved up the cards so quick in 2022, especially in 2021, 2022. That is something they need to do with Mesa as well after the high-speed title run. You can't deny her. She's too good to be denied, in my opinion.
No, I agree. She's awesome.
Like,
Either like give her the
I,
tag belts or you give her a singles push or something.
I can't lobby for Ami Sore 5-star win if I so.
Yeah. Our next match was Azumi and Natsupoi wrestling to sorry, no, they didn't. Azumi beat Natsupoi in 2.5 minutes with Izumi Zushi. This was like the good old high speed days. This was just fun. Like they were just doing, kind of cheesy spots, but they were like they were in on it, so it was kind of a bit more fun. And then they just like did the quick finish. So I quite like this. It was a nice little throwback to kind of what we used to get in Stardom a lot more. It was a nice break of pace as well, because a lot of the tournament matches at this point were going 10 plus, and they just said nope, we're going 3. Have fun.
Yeah, that is exactly why I like it. Because normally you see 2 big names on the card and you know, okay, they're going 10, if not 15. And they decided, okay, we go short and have just a short match that not only makes them stand out, but also tells the fans, okay, these high-speed sequences that a lot of these wrestlers, Azumi, Oi, Starlight Kid, even like Kurara, Mei Sarah, all of them, that it just can't end at every single moment. Like normally you have this high-speed sequence and it just goes into nowhere and it just starts working normally. But this one just ended with a finish, and I think this helps future matches, not only of Azumi herself, who always established that she can win out of nowhere, but in general the entire roster, because the fans now notice, okay, even a match this big can end so quick. That is cool. At the same time, it's kind of it sucks that Azumi and Natsupoi's first match in like over 1,000 days ends like in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the last match against each other in the singles was the Nippon Budokan match in 2021
Oh my god.
for the high speed belt. Yeah.
I mean, normally I would definitely want it to go longer, but at this point in time, I am taking whatever I can get,
Yeah. That's fair.
Our next match is Rina beating Tomoka Inaba in 13.5 minutes with a Pink Devil. Another big win for Rina, and another good match. I'm kind of running out of ways to say these are good matches. So yeah, this was good. I enjoyed it.
This was one of the few liquid matches, in my opinion, in GP so far that actually worked well because Rina sold it, unlike Azumi.
Yeah.
I'm
Shit on
sorry for the
Azumi.
Azumi fans.
The entire
I'm
just
sorry.
yeah, a bitch Azumi.
I'm so
Crazy.
sorry for the Azumi. No, but Rina's selling is like really good, and she did really well. Like in comparison to a lot of other wrestlers in Joshi, she actually sells it, and it is like a really important part. Tomoka, like Taka, has given up on protecting her in Stardom, and I think that is good. But I love her role in the tournament so far because she just has good matches, has the important winner against Starlight Kid, and she will end up at like 6 points or maybe 7. I don't know who she has matches left that she can easily win.
Yeah.
But she doesn't beat any of the big names, and I think that is good because she is not signed and she shouldn't beat be protected against all these big names like she was last year. Kind of silly, the freeway draw against Sarah and Azumi. That was like a silly looking back to. But yeah, I like this one. They did good stuff. It was a good hometown match in Arena.
It was. And then we had another good hometown match. Hanan beat B Priestley in just 12 minutes with a backdrop driver. Kind of the expected match, B kind of worked her over. Hanan got her stuff back. And the finish was crazy with the one backdrop driver into the other. That little B just got crunched on her neck. So yeah, it was a good match. I thought it would be better. I thought they would like pull it out of the bag, but I think I maybe overestimated B's abilities, and this might be the best we're gonna get of her.
Yeah, definitely. I feel a bit bad for Hana that she get like the roughest opponent she can get in her block for main events. Like she had Risa Serra last year, where Risa like that was really bad. Didn't Risa like throw up mid match in that one?
I think so. Yeah, there was definitely something that happened.
Yeah, it either wasn't that one or another one in Kyoto. But here she got B, and I think B did definitely better than Risa, and I think they had a solid enough hometown match. Maybe the weakest main event we had so far, but still a good one. Like, I especially love B's booking so far because going undefeated and then just losing to Hanan in Hanan's home, simple but super well thought booking from Taro. Like this could have gotten in every single tournament. I would say, okay, this is totally makes sense, and it makes look be good, but still she loses out to the real star that she, which puts her into a pretty good position in terms of like the card order where she is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she will stick around.
Well, probably not. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think she will work the Yokohama show as the last one, and then she will likely face Azumi there for the strong belt or something.
Possible, yeah. I could definitely see it. Because they did say that they wanted B to challenge, wasn't it? Azumi and Momo were like, "Hey, we're gonna wrestle, and somebody will defend against B." Maybe that was just people on Twitter saying that, and I assumed it was true. Yeah, she's definitely a New Japan strong kind of challenger. We do have to preview the stuff though, and this is where I just kind of am so over this. So, the first show to preview is the Cork and Hall show tomorrow. Really?
Yeah,
Oh, see, I hate previewing shows that are on Wednesday, so I don't think we should
doesn't
bother.
matter. We look stupid then.
Hanan is going to beat
what's going-
Sayaka. That's the only thing I think anybody needs to take away from this tournament or from this show. Really?
Is she?
Yeah. Her
I think
promo
so.
to Tokyo Sports was like, yeah, Sayaka Matani's like the best of the best, and I'm just kind of like a worm in her eyes, and so I have to beat her to stand up and be counted. So
Yeah, but
think
I don't know if she
Hanan
beats her
wins.
in the first try.
She probably does.
I think
It's,
the
it's the
chance.
Cork
I mean, yeah,
and
they will not
Hanan
run
is,
it back at Kirkin again. Yeah,
yeah,
because
like
the other
Hanan is
match
their
would be
focus.
another Kirkin main. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That and Anno versus Bozilla, it's gonna be an interesting show. But yeah, it's I don't like previewing the ones that are on Wednesdays because I don't see much point. I thought it was on Thursday for some reason. It just sprung
Do
up
you
on me.
think Rocco gets the winner of Ami Story, or Ami is going like 4-0?
Rocco probably beats Ami, yeah.
I think that screams Kana.
Maybe. Yeah, for sure. Now let's see if it would load. The website has gotten very slow. On the 9th of August in Kyoto, Miyu Amasaki takes on Sai Ida. That is Miyu's home
Yes.
town.
Yes.
So Miyu would win.
Sayida being like the opinionator for like 2 hometown shows is funny.
That's her spot. That's where she is. I mean, she might like Ida could just win. I don't think they love Miyu that much, but
I
I
think
imagine she gets something.
I think Ida could win if Hanako beats Momo.
Right. That would be treason, but
It's all about one of the main events, and the one in the main event is winning, and the one in the semi-main event.
yeah, that's true. Well, Siri Ano takes on Rocca as well, which is probably a win for Ano.
Yes, I would hope so.
Okay. Ami Sourei versus Yuria Hime. That's definitely Ami.
Yeah, that's very obvious.
Bozilla versus Aya would be Bozilla.
Yes.
Hanako Momo Watanabe. Please be Momo Watanabe. Just give us that one.
Would she go 5 now?
Sure, why the hell not? She's great.
When is the next match after that? She has Hina next. Oh my god. Yes, I need it. I need Hina to beat her.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
All right. Suzuki versus Sari. Whoa. I guess Sari.
It
Already
should be
taken her
Sari.
loss.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's a time no draw, because Suzu.
Ah,
I don't know if
yeah.
Suzu drops 2 folds already.
That's true. Hina versus Rana Yagami. I think Rana gets the win there because Hina's kind of beat her a few times.
Yeah, but at the same time, Hina has yet to win, and she has Konami on her Kurikan, so she is likely owned free.
Right. Yeah. No. So
I
Hina.
think Hina wins this one. Yeah.
Okay. Momokogo versus Konami. I don't even think we need to guess. We know what's happening there.
Yeah, that's Konami.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll just open both at once because that will make it quicker. Because you have to go into the show and then you have to go into the match card part of the show, and so you're loading 2 different things, and sometimes it just takes a second. On the 10th in Okayama, Aya Sakura takes on Rocca. That is going to be Aya Sakura going over.
Yeah, I think so.
Mei Sarah versus Suzusa Inaba. I think whoever has less points will win. I don't know who that'll be going into this, but whoever has less points will just win.
It would be Inaba, I believe. Yeah,
so
I could imagine, because that would give Inaba something post the GP.
Yeah. Unimizu Mori versus Waka. I think Waka might get that one.
I think so too. She either, but I don't know. If Mizumori beats Inaba, I think then Waka's winning this one. But I can't really say. It's too. I don't know. I think Waka just loses out until Lady C in the final.
Maybe, but I don't know. They could pull this one off.
Yeah, it would be cool. Waka deserves some points at least.
Yeah, there's so many matches on this show. Hanan versus Lady C. Let's go Lady C. Fuck it. I want to see her win.
It would be very funny if like Hanan just beats all the big names and then loses to Lady C and adds
Yeah,
Inaba.
that would be
No,
awesome.
I'm going with the safe one. I'm going with Hanan. Lady C has too many
Alright.
points.
Starlight Kid versus Natsuko Tora. So I win. I will go with Natsuko. I'll stick with her. Former
Yeah,
red belt champ should probably beat your white belt champ. So
yeah. I'm looking at the points. Yeah,
you
should
look at
work out.
points. I'm going off vibes.
Okay, you're going off vibes. I'm going off
Yeah.
points. Yeah. I think Tora.
Natsupoi versus Rina. I think
Gotta
Natsupoi
be
needs points. So
Yeah,
Natsupoi.
the situation pretty much is that if Rina wins like one more, then Natsuko just can tie her because
Whoa.
Natsuko
Okay.
can just reach 10. So she needs the points, yeah.
Okay. Sayaka Kurara versus Tomoka Inaba. Tomoka, because isn't Kurara
Yes.
challenging Azusa, so she's not going to beat Tomoka.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Azumi versus Rian. That could be Rian. They could do the like master of the flash pin gets flash pinned thing.
I would agree if Azumi wasn't a strong champion is to protect it. I think
Nah, it's
Azumi
fine.
just wins.
It's fine. New Japan strong.
Can run
design.
this. How about a forbidden door?
Sure. Why the hell not? They'll steal the show. Let's see. On the 11th, then in Kobe, Seri Ano takes on Aya Sakura. So
Hometown.
we're going
That's
for
hometown
Aya.
of Aya. But I don't think
Ooh,
she wins, but I
no,
think that is
no.
like she will have a good showing there.
Okay. Yuri Hime versus Ruaka. That would be Ruaka.
I don't know. That screams DQ.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
but if Rian doesn't get points and Yuria is not getting points, I'm going with Raka.
Okay. Sai Ida versus Bozilla. I think there's time for an Idabashi. It's time for Boz to meet her maker.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I don't see Bozella losing much. So
Yeah.
I think that is
Okay.
the one she can lose to.
Amisore versus Miyu Amasaki. Miyu?
Yeah, I think so. Ami gotta lose at some point. So there's that.
Suzu Suzuki versus Konami. I will go with Suzu. Because if she loses the Sari, she probably needs points here.
Yeah, I agree.
Hanako versus Sari. Sari.
Yeah, she's not laying down for Hanako.
Tina versus Momo Watanabe.
It's time.
It's time.
We got Beast Mode Hina.
I mean,
It's coming with the
she's good.
splash.
She could avenge QQ. I think that would be the standard enough story.
I think if you really want to lean into her going full on the Momo Watanabe 2019-18 character, kind of, with how she is in the promos, why not giving her instantly the upset? Because she needs points in this block, and I think she deserves at least 6. So give her one.
All right, I'm into it. Momo Kogo versus Rani Agami. Maybe Momo gets the win. Maybe she gets.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Poor Kogo. Yeah, so there's some. Apparently, Sai Kabatani is defending the Regina the Wave this weekend as well.
Yeah, on the 10th.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I think she might lose it, to be honest. I feel like Kohaku winning Catch the Wave was to set that up, but not fully sure.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but Wave is stupid as hell.
That's true, but they do only have 2 wrestlers now, so they gotta start doing stuff. Takahiro randomly deciding to be a politician really ruined their.
They have Gora and Saran.
Yeah, but they don't do anything ever.
They literally have just 3. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ. Active at least.
Yeah. All right. That's all for Stardom. Finally, That is all for the show. I will be back next week to review all 4 of the shows that are happening, as well as the Dream Star. And then I will preview the Yokohama Budokan and Shizuoka shows, because it does thin out, thankfully, after next week. But this past week was painful, as evidenced by the 2 hours of audio. Thank you for joining me for this hellscape, Peps.
Oh no, don't worry. I'm always glad to be here. No, I was here for the first time, so I'm glad to review 558 matches. It's not like I have enough to cover with the G1. I will never do this again.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Dude, I watched ELP with Drilla Maloney. Slowest move spamming match ever. Was awful.
I really like New Japan should just like go away. New Japan should not exist. Truly.
How about we just kill Manfred?
There's definitely a case for it. I think we're gonna get close. NXT should do it. NXT might do it. They're just like we got Obafemi and that's it. So maybe we'll just do an all women's thing. But
I mean,
who
that would
knows?
be definitely better than whatever they are doing with the men.
Yeah, I mean, you're not rocking with Hank and Tank, Hank.
They are at least okay. I'm not rocking with Josh Briggs.
Nobody should, in fairness. But
they tried to put Brooke Jensen for once. That was rough. Sean Spears.
Oh my god, yeah, the Sean Spears faction and Dark State, I think. They're different things.
Yeah.
But they're both just kind of like we wear dark clothes and are spooky. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but one faction is Izzy Dane, the other doesn't.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well,
Great Dane.
All right, you gotta chill out there. Yeah, I'll be back next week. Maybe if I don't lose the will to live. So it is time to close the show. We're gonna do this without Dylan. He usually says the important part, but we can work around that. So if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Shine forever.
Oh.
Stardom, Quest, Goldo, Passion, then Ijo.
Then Ijo, okay.
Yeah. So Ijo.
Ijo.